Just not the hero type, clearly.
Hello guys, this is my re-review for Iron Man that released back in 2008. I rewatched this movie. Well, I haven't seen it since Infinity War came out, actually. I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel films. I rewatched the Captain America trilogy not long ago, but I haven't seen a lot of the MCU films since Avengers Infinity War came out, because I didn't rewatch them before Endgame, I just rewatched Infinity War. But I haven't seen them a lot since then, so I thought I'd start with the first Iron Man. I'm not going to go back and because I'm not going to review and rewatch all the other MCU movies. I just haven't seen Iron Man in a long time, and I love that one, so I'm just going to go back and rewatch some that I love. And Iron Man was one of them, and I thought I'd talk about it, because I don't think I talked about it enough on this channel. Of course, I've talked about it in rankings, and of course my review that I did ages ago. Alright, Iron Man. This movie, of course, was released back in 2008, and was the starter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And really, without this film, I honestly don't know where films would be today, which is amazing, actually, because it's an origin story. Yes, there are better movie origin stories. Batman Begins is better than this, the original Superman. So they're all much better superhero origin stories than Iron Man. But Iron Man did something unprecedented with starting up this world, and I don't think it could have been done without Kevin Feige, the producer of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jon Favreau, who directed this movie, and of course, the man himself, Robert Downey Jr. He knocked it out of the park in this role. A lot of people think this is the comeback role for him. He did a movie that came out the year before, Zodiac, so I think probably that was more his comeback role. But this movie was really his comeback role to the big screen. And I don't know where the MCU would be today. And this movie would not have succeeded if Robert Downey Jr. was not as this main character. I cannot see anyone else as Iron Man. He is Iron Man to me. I mean, if they recasted Iron Man any year in the future, I would be so angry. This is the character. This is who plays him. And, you know, Robert Downey Jr. just has so much charisma in every single moment. And I love the way he starts. Seeing his character arc in this movie, it's still my favourite character arc in the MCU. But seeing his character arc from Iron Man all the way to his death in Avengers Endgame, spoilers for that movie and this movie if you haven't seen him, but the arc this character goes through over this many years is honestly outstanding. But the arc he goes through in this movie is really reflective of what actually happens in Avengers Endgame. I mean, at the start of the film, of course, we see him in the truck and he gets blown up, but later on in the movie we see it's told in like a non-linear way, sort of how Batman Begins was told, and it goes back to him before as a narcissistic person. You know, he doesn't really care about anyone else, he's a selfish idiot, he's playing games, doesn't care about the trophies he wins for his work, he just does his work because he's good at it and makes a lot of money at it. He doesn't really care about what he does, very narcissistic, you know, he's quite mean and selfish. And throughout the rest of this movie, of course, what he experiences, and I think that is paced in a perfect way, in that non-linear way, to show how this exact point in his life changes his entire life, all the way from this moment to his death. And it's really amazing what this film does. I mean, there's a lot of things that emotionally impact me now in the first Iron Man that didn't emotionally impact me before after seeing Avengers Endgame, like the proof that Tony Stark has a heart thing. Now after seeing that at his funeral, every time I see that, it's so emotional. And there's other things, like when he has a cheeseburger in this movie. Who thought that Iron Man having a cheeseburger in the first Iron Man film would be so important? Of course, because Happy Hogan talks to his daughter at the end of Avengers Endgame, and because he talks about having cheeseburgers, and that moment is just so emotional here. So when he's sat there eating a cheeseburger in the conference, and he's telling everyone that he's going to shut down the weapons thing, at that moment it's super emotional, and the bookends this in Endgame so well. Of course, there's a lot of times like Captain America, the first Avenger and stuff in Endgame as well, but the first Iron Man in particular I think is the strongest. Let's talk about just how awesome this movie is. This movie is just awesome. Every single rewatch I have of this film is as good as the last one. This movie, just the action sequences are so visceral. The CGI for the Iron Man suit, it looks amazing because some of it is practical and you can tell, and it's really, really well done. The action sequences are awesome. The scene with the tank is just really, really cool. And also the action sequences are quick, they're not over long, there's not too many explosions, and it's just on for the right amount of time. I still have only one issue with the first Iron Man, and that's Obadiah Stane's villain and the final battle. It's just a conventional villain, and it was a conventional final battle, and that was about it. The rest of the movie was just so unique and fun, and the style was so on point. Also, this movie has a really investing story about someone finally not working for someone else, finally working for himself, but actually he's working for everyone else. He's trying to save people. And after seeing what he's witnessed, it's amazing. And that scene in the cave is also really, really amazing. Of course, he has the banging stuff, the banging noise that was used at the end of Avengers Endgame. And it's really, really impactful what this first Iron Man movie does. And it's amazing. It's still one of the best this franchise has to offer, but it's also one of the best standalone superhero origin stories because of the way it growths this character. And, you know, it's a dude in a metal suit, but the performance is so on point, whether it's the emotion or the humor or the change in his attitude. It's so well done. Also, I think a really underrated part of this movie is actually Pepper Potts. I think she's really a great character, and because we get a lot more of her character in Iron Man 3. But I really like what they do with her character here and her relationship with Tony Stark. It's like those two really need each other, and they coalesce with each other really, really well to create a realistic relationship. And it's done in a really, really well done way. Iron Man 2 doesn't really add anything to this character or anything like that. I don't really like Iron Man 2. I think it's on the weaker side of the MCU. But the first Iron Man, it's just a cool movie. It's an awesome movie. It's actually an inspiring film. It's awesome. It's really great. And also, who doesn't want an Iron Man suit? Look how cool they are. I mean, they're so awesome. But he also has difficulty building this suit, of course. It doesn't come easy. It comes with a lot of thought process and a change of mindset to do this. This guy's got, because he's got shrapnel in his heart, he's trying to fix his heart at the same time, there's that tension there. It's not like the movie is just ultimate fun all the way through and cool stuff. There is added emotion in there. There is an added conflict in there with Obadiah Stane, who has sort of been a man that's sort of been controlling him all this time to make things. And you can sort of understand that he's using Tony throughout this entire time, and it comes a time where Tony has to realize that. There's a lot of really great, fun dialogue.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
There's a lot of times it will cut to something, and then it will juxtapose that, make some really, really funny humour. Of course, the final words of this film where it says, "I am Iron Man," it's unlike anything. A lot of superheroes like Batman and Spider-Man, Superman like to keep their identity secret. He's just like, well, I'm just going to tell everyone. It's awesome. It makes sense for who this person is. People would find out that he's Iron Man some way, so he's like, okay, I'll just tell them now. You know, I'm going to show myself off, show off what I can do. And when he comes out and says, "I am Iron Man," it's so great. That's exactly what it says to Thanos at the end of the final battle in Avengers Endgame, and it coalesces with that so well. And this character is just really great, and this movie made him a household name, and it started off this entire franchise. It doesn't just start this great character, it builds this entire franchise up. And the first Iron Man is brilliant, I love it, and I'm going to give it the same rating and same grade I've always given it. I'm still going to give Iron Man an A. I'm also going to give this movie a 9.2 out of 10. I really love this movie. Still one of my favorites in the MCU. Kicked off this franchise brilliantly. Guys, comment down below your opinions on the first Iron Man down below. And of course, thanks for watching, and goodbye.